What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're going to be doing an analysis of the E-mini S&P 500 index futures, changing it up today. And we'll be doing an analysis of the macro charts as well as looking at some areas that we may want to engage the market on Monday, manage our risk, and some levels that may be important pivots that we want to watch out for. All right, so with that said, reminder that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and in no way is financial advice. And so let's get into some charts now. All right, well, we're going to start off with the weekly, of course, always the macro first, and we'll work our way down into the daily plan towards the end of the video. But first thing, of course, that we notice here that we're sitting at a very crucial spot for the bulls. Now we had this wider balance zone that we've been watching, and now we have this balance zone that really we were watching that caused the breakout that propelled us up into the 46 30s. And now we're coming back to retest this previous balance that caused that breakout. And this is kind of a do or die zone here for the bulls to defend. And if they cannot, we'll definitely be looking for further downside in the markets, potentially down to 44.50. And if that gives up, we'll be looking at the 38.2 here, sitting around 44.20, 44.18 area. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. We've been talking, if you follow along with the SPY plans that I put out, we've been watching the overbought readings for quite some time. I know I've been talking about a pullback in the markets was on the horizon for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been talking about that 444 as my target for the downside on SPY. But it's interesting now, they're not going to make things easy because we are retesting, right, this breakout, as I was mentioning before, in the top of this balance in the 23.6 right here, basically 4,500 at 44.92 and a quarter. But if we come and look at the SPY ETF chart, you can see that we're coming into the demand zone, right? We're coming into the area that I was looking at, but we're not quite lined up in the same way. And you can see here's the top that caused the breakout right around that 444 area, but we're not lined up in the same way that we are on ES. So they want to make things a little bit tricky for us, as nothing's for free in the market, as we all know. But it would be nice if this was lining up, right? But it's not. So we'll have to see if we do see more downside. I do get my target at that 444, but it's anybody's guess because we are sitting in this wider demand zone, pretty much a $3 demand zone in this general area. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. It should be very interesting to watch. But you can clearly see how it lines up, that breakout retest area here on ES. It's a lot cleaner. And in Sunday trading, as the markets opened, they are up about 17.5 points, and we saw that really nice bounce right basically at that 44.92 area, and that's where we're up about 17 points or so here in Sunday trading. So, but let's watch. This could just set up to be a bigger bear flag, and then we see a breakout lower. But it's all, we just take it level to level. So let's keep an eye on that Friday low at that 44.92. We start trading below that and showing acceptance. It's not going to be good for the bulls. So let's look at the daily really quickly, and something I wanted to point out, a few things on some other macro charts that I have been watching. Now, I did post on my Twitter last week about a 45.60. And if we go back here, we look at this range that I have drawn out, right? And let me go back into the daily. Come on, there we go. And it really was picture perfect. I'll show it to you on two charts, and this is why, again, I always talk about macro being so important. Here we came right into these two trend lines, tried to get right over, look above, and fail. Now, could anyone have guessed that we were going to see a 60-point drop? No, I didn't think we were going to see a 60-point drop. A really big fail by the Bulls there. Really dropped the ball because we just melted through all that hard work that they had done, recouping some of those losses from Thursday. And we'll have to see what we get Monday. Quite the moves in the market, so it's very possible. So we do see some tricky price action and some consolidation coming into tomorrow as well. And you know what? I did not look at the calendar for our economic events, and it's actually not posted on there, but I believe we have CPI. Let me open this up really quickly. I believe it is on Wednesday. So another reason for the markets to be hesitant coming into CPI. Let me just double check. Yeah, CPI, actually, it's not on Wednesday. It is on Thursday, August 10th. So let's watch out for that. And then we do have PPI on Friday. So, Mondays usually can be, especially after we saw that big move in the market. Monday, we can see a little hesitation tomorrow. Tuesday might be all right. Wednesday, really not too much on the docket as far as events, but Tuesday, Wednesday, we might start seeing hesitation again. So we'll just see. It might be a tricky week to trade, so just be aware of that as well. So, but the other chart that I wanted to pull up here is our other bigger picture, and you can see our bull pivot here, same range, right, that I was on the other chart, and just boom, right in there, and down we went. And look where we bounced, this next bull pivot, right? So that's, again, another, having those eyes on the bigger picture time frames really helps you see what's going on in the markets. So let's go into some areas I am looking at for tomorrow. We'll just start off with the fibs really quickly. 45, I do like here, as long as we hold this 45.10 area, let's watch to see if they can, if we can accept over that. And 4,500, pretty much 10 points there. And if you really, want to be saucy, you can say, yes, of course, the swing low here. But I'll really would be looking for 45.10 and 4,500 to be supported for the potential opportunity to come up into 45.23, 45.20. That's really going to be the long area, or the area that's going to give a little bit more confirmation for the longs, recapturing that. And then we could potentially see higher prices up back into 45, 40, 42 area at this 38.2 retracement. So as long as we hold over for 4,500, 45.10, I think that would be a decent sign for the possible retracements. But the strongest confirmation is really going to be seeing that acceptance over 45.23. So let's watch out for that. And right now, as it stands, actually the 45.20 area is the it's the hourly 20 period moving average. So we'll see if they can actually start to accept over this level. But right now, at least as far as the hourly 9, we are holding it at, just barely above at 45.15 is where it's sitting right now, and we're trading just slightly above that, just a point. So, no real confirmation yet holding that hourly 9, but we'll see how that progresses overnight. All right, so let's go into some balance zones that we'll be watching for tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll be mentioning that 45-20 area again. And you can see we came right into this previous that we got a lot of. This isn't really a balance zone, but just kind of a supply area that I was watching. But you can see we came right into the top of this supply zone at this 44.95, 44.92 area. That's where we ended up seeing the buyers, and we pushed back over our 45.11, 45.10 here, and that's what we want to see. But you're going to see the top of this area, 45.20, 45.17. They got to get over that for the hope to cut back up into this area in the 30s, and that's going to be really what the bulls want to see, recapturing that 23 and 27, getting over that. Okay, then we've got a potentiality to come into 45, 45, 44 area, and then over that, we've got our chances to come back into the top of this balance here, and you can see that is right where we rejected, pretty much to the T. Before we saw, and then we saw that big drop. Honestly, I thought we would stop right here. I didn't think we were going to run all the way down there. I mean, what a move in the markets on Friday. So let's see if we can still accept over this 45.10. It really gives us a shot to potentially come and retest this previous balance zone. And then if we can get over it, maybe we can come back down here. Now, of course, conversely, if there could be short trades definitely on the table, right at 45.30. Could be interested in some shorts. We retest this balance, come in, reject, come back down, looking for some targets back to retrace back down to the 20, back down to 10, and then back down to 45.06, 05. If that breaks, we're looking back towards 4,500 and probably be all out, maybe thinking about flipping long there. But for the breakout short, getting back under this area, then we'll be looking down lower under that 43.90, 44.92. We'll be looking down for 44.90, 44.86. So we'll have to see. But let's, and then for the bulls, like I said, let's get over and accept over that 2023 area. Then we've got our chances to come into this balance, and accepting over 45.30, we'll just call it for ease. Then we've got a chance at 40 and 44. You can accept over that. And we got 45, 55 basically, and 45.60 once again. Possible short ideas, of course. You could potentially try to short this area, and you could potentially try to short the 45.44, right? Just another higher low, and then we start to roll over. So it'll be really interesting to see how this week plays out, if the bulls have any more oomph in them, or the bears are going to get the W for this next upcoming week. But a lot more of August ahead of us. So it'll be interesting to see, how things progress as we move along. But a lot of things can happen, right? And of course, we've got CPI on Thursday, so it'll be interesting to watch. So, all right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Changing it up today, not doing SPY, but I hope this helps. You can still trade SPY around ES. You can trade ES off of SPY. You can trade ES off of SPX. You can trade. So it's all interchangeable. Just the levels and the numbers change. But there's tons of ways to play it, depending on what you prefer. So, all right, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and take care.